Right now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is preparing to address the UN General Assembly in just a short time from now. He's expected to make his case against Iran. Netanyahu's remarks coming as speculation grows in the Jewish state over whether sanctions against Iran are working fast enough to change Iran's nuclear path. Listen to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and what she said back in July.
We know the sanctions are biting. Israel and the United States agree on that. And we talked about concrete steps that we can take to continue to build the pressure.
This has been the opinion of the Obama administration, and it continues to beat the drum that sanctions are working, that they are creating a change inside Iran. Is that correct? Mark Dubowitz is the executive director of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Mark, nice to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having me, Jenna.
So, Mark, you're just finishing up this study that was taking a look at timelines for the nuclear program inside Iran, and the timelines for when these sanctions are really going to affect change inside the country. What did you find?
Well, Jenna, what we're looking at is the economic cripple date when Iran faces an imminent economic collapse, and we're looking at the nuclear threshold date when Iran has the capability and everything in place to build a nuclear weapon if it decides to break out or more likely sneak out. And it's really important which comes first. I mean, if the Iranians are going to have a nuclear capability which gives them a turn of the screw away from having a nuclear weapon, and that occurs long before they face imminent economic collapse, then we have a serious problem with these sanctions and the efficacy of sanctions.
So what does it look like right now?
Well, we're doing the analysis, and we're going to have the complete economic model in the next few days. But my hunch is that the economic cripple date occurs long after the nuclear threshold date, and that has serious implications for U.S. and Israeli policy. It means either we have to significantly ratchet up these sanctions and precipitate a major economic collapse in Iran, or we have to acknowledge sanctions not working, and we're going to have to turn to the prospect of military strikes to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program.
Well, consider yourself booked when the study and all the results come out and that analysis is full, Mark, because it's certainly something that we're following so closely here on happening now. What do you think the Prime Minister of Israel is going to say today when it comes to the sanctions? It seems that Israel, the officials from Israel and the United States continue to be together as far as saying, hey, they're working, they're having some sort of effect. But what do you expect the Prime Minister to say beyond that?
Well, I expect the Prime Minister to say that, sanctions are working in the sense that they are placing severe pressure on the Iranian economy, but they have not worked for the objective for which they were designed, which was to actually stop the Iranian nuclear weapons program and change the risk-reward calculus of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. I think he's going to lay down some red lines. He's going to make it very clear the Iranians have about 5 bombs worth of low-enriched uranium, which takes them about 70% of the way there to weapons-grade uranium, that they're working on increasing that uranium to 20%, which would take them 90% of the way there to having a bomb, and that they're burying their uranium facilities deep below a bunker, a hardened bunker underneath a mountain, and that very soon the Israelis are going to have very limited military options to strike that, and the U.S. may also have a very limited military option sometime soon. So I think the Prime Minister is going to say, look, the time to stop talking about sanctions is now. The time to start talking about making it very clear to the Iranian regime that their weapons-grade uranium will be destroyed in a military strike if they don't compromise is upon us.
We just saw a picture of the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. I want to point it out to our audience. It was him on the plane, supposedly writing his speech and what he's going to say to the UN today. Mark, we continue to enjoy our conversations. Look forward to having you back on the program. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jenna. Thanks for having me.